The Minnesota Timberwolves have one of the most exciting young player in Anthony Edwards on their team. But this season, there has been a lot of ups and downs, losing 5 out of their last 7 outings. So I've decided I'm taking over as the GM and trading every single player except for Anthony Edwards. At the time of this recording, we are the number 6 seed with 27 wins and 18 losses, but hopefully after all the trades we pull off, we will be able to become a top 3 seed by the end of this season. And we're going to start off with a banger trade, bringing in Ja Morant to be the brand new starting point guard. This season, Anthony Edwards has made it clear he wants a true point guard to play beside him who's a good playmaker. What Ja Morant is, per 36 minutes he's averaging 10 assists per game. We're going to be sending the Minnesota Timberwolves Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a second round pick in return for Ja Morant and Cam Spencer. I have a pretty big trade in mind, but for that we're going to need ourselves some first round picks. So I'm going to pull off a trade here with the Houston Rockets where we send them Joe Ingles for Clint Capella, and we also get ourselves a first round pick. And this was the exciting trade that I was talking about, but sadly the New York Knicks declined the trade offer. The next trade we're going to be pulling off is with the Denver Nuggets where we send them Naz Reid and Bones Highland, in return getting ourselves Aaron Gordon, who this season is averaging 18 points per game on 50, 40, 78 shooting splits. He also brings in championship experience, could mentor our younger players, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade. I'm attempting to pull off a trade here with the Washington Wizards where we send them Robert Dillingham, in return getting ourselves Keyshawn George, who I've become a pretty big fan of. This season he's averaging 16 points per game, he's also a really good defender, and he's shooting nearly 40% from the 3-point line. I'm offering the Washington Wizards Robert Dillingham. They do decline as of right now, but let's throw in a first round pick. That does not get it done. What if we throw in a bunch of second rounders? And it looks like they did accept the trade after throwing in 2 more second round picks. We need ourselves 1 more first round pick, so I'm going to be trading away Terrence Shannon Jr. and a second round pick to the San Antonio Spurs for their 2029 unprotected first rounder. I've tried trading for nearly every big man in the league, but all teams are declining. Now I'm going to try getting ourselves Jarrett Allen and Lonzo Ball from the Cleveland Cavaliers where we send them Rudy Gobert and Jalen Clark. They do give us a counteroffer. Okay, so this is the first team actually wanting to play ball for a big man. They want Bismack Biyombo and a first round pick. In return they'll give us Max Strus. Sign me up. Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. The New York Knicks are offering us OG Anunoby for Jaden McDaniels and Mike Conley, and honestly this does look like a pretty good trade on paper, but I've realized OG Anunoby is a hit or miss in 2K simulation. There's been times I've got him and he's played absolutely amazing, and there's been times I've got him and he plays horrible. So hopefully this is a time where he plays amazing. I'm going to be pulling off this trade here with the New York Knicks. The last trade I'm going to be pulling off is with the Phoenix Suns where we send them Max Strus. In return we get ourselves a backup power forward in Royce O'Neal, also getting ourselves a second round pick. Before I show y'all the new roster, it would mean the world to me if you could take a quick second out of your time to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new. It really does support out the video and channel a ton. We've now officially traded every single player except for the man himself, Anthony Edwards, and this is what the new 9-man rotation will be looking like. In our starting lineup we have Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, OG Anunoby, Aaron Gordon, and Jarrett Allen, and then off the bench we have Keyshawn George, Royce O'Neal, Clint Capella, and Cam Spencer. The first game with our new roster is going to be up against the Golden State Warriors. Let's see how we do here, and we do. It's taking quite a bit of time here to simulate, so let me show you guys what happens. Okay, so we end up winning 103 by 87. They had 87. We played amazing defense where Ja Morant had a 31-point double-double, Anthony Edwards had 25, 10 from Jarrett Allen, and 10 from Cam Spencer. The next game is also up against the Golden State Warriors, and we do end up losing. They held us to 99 points here. Okay, so Anthony Edwards had 24 points. Ja Morant had a 17-point double-double. It will take some time to build up the chemistry since we do have ourselves a brand new 9-man rotation. Can we defeat the Dallas Mavericks? And yes, we can. 113-97, where Anthony Edwards dropped 33 points. Ja Morant with a 15-point double-double. And if I'm not mistaken, Ja Morant has been getting a double-double in every game since we acquired him. Can we defeat the defending champions? And yes, we can. 122-119. where Ja Morant dropped a 30-point double-double and Anthony Edwards with 22. And with our new roster, we will be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, 7 seconds under Chris Finch. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and ever since pulling off the trades, we've only lost one single game to the Golden State Warriors, so I won't be pulling off any more trades. I do believe our team has potential to win a championship, so I'll see you guys at the end of this first season. We have below 14 players on this team. I believe we have a total of 12 players, so that means we're going to have to sign 2 players that are currently free agents. I'm going to go ahead and sign Malik Beasley, and do the same for Ben Simmons. I don't know if they're going to be a part of our rotation, but I'm going to sign them anyways. At the end of this season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes on to win a back-to-back MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Reed Shepherd 6-Man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Buzelis wins Most Improved, Tyrese Maxey Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and it looks like we do get ourselves Anthony Edwards on All-NBA third team. Let's go. And it does not look like we get anyone on all defensive team, but that is alright. We ended this season being the number 2 seed, winning a total of 56 games and losing only 26. Now, before I start simulating the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the regular season. So our leading scorer was Anthony Edwards, nearly averaging 30 points per game, 29, 5, and 4 assists on 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. Then we had Ja Morant averaging 22 points per game, 4 rebounds, and nearly 10 assists per game, shooting 48% from the field. Aaron Gordon was averaging 15, 14 from OG, 13 from Keyshawn George, and 13 from Jarrett Allen. So our team has been doing really well ever since trading away every player except for Anthony Edwards, but let's see if we're able to win a championship. In the first round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, who have themselves Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Danny Avdija, Tamani Kamara, and Donovan Clingan, and this is their bench unit. They are a pretty stacked team, but they were the number 7 seed, so let's see what happens. Game number 1 does go to us, and Ant-Man drops 42 points, Ja with a 29-point double-double. Royce O'Neal 15 points in 17 minutes. Game 2, we do end up losing here by a few points, 129 to 123. Ja played amazing, so did Ant-Man, but sadly that was not enough. Game 3 will also end up going to the Portland Trail Blazers. Okay, so they defeat us here by 12 points. Gordon had 23, 21 from Ant, and 21 from Keyshawn George. Perhaps I need to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I've ended up coming up with the defensive coach game plan. I also changed up our starting lineup. Keyshawn George will be our starting small forward, and that's because OG Anunoby is playing horrible. Bro shooting 11% from the field and 14% from the 3-point line, so currently he will be benched. Let's see what happens here. We'll jump into Simcast for game 4, where the Trailblazers have home court advantage, and so far we have the lead. But can we keep it as a question? And of course we end up losing, going down 3-1, falling short here by 9 points. And Damian Lillard has been a problem. He's averaging 27 points per game against us. Anthony Edwards had 23, 22 from Ja Morant, but sadly that was not enough. Now we're down 3-1. Can we come back from this? Let's find out. We will have home court advantage here for game 5, and we do start off the first half really strong. It looks like we will be winning this game 162 to 120. Where has this offense been all along? Ja Morant drops 39 points and 18 assists. Anthony Edwards with 35, Keyshawn George with 27 and 11. Good thing we put him a part of our starting lineup, because he just shot 11 or 12 from the field and 5 of 5 from the 3-point line. Can we tap the series here? Let's find out. The Trailblazers do have home court advantage, and so far it's a close battle, but we do end up winning by 1 point. Okay, so they almost came back there in the fourth quarter, but thankfully we won. Ant-Man with 38, Gordon with 18, OG with 15, and Ja Morant with 14 points and 17 assists. Now both teams are in a winner-go-home situation. It's time for game 7. Let's see what happens here, and thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side. But so far, we do have the lead going here in the fourth quarter. We're up by 10 points, 7:50 remaining. Can we keep this lead? And yes, we can. We end up winning 130 to 117, coming back from 3-1 lead that the Trailblazers had. Ja Morant dropped 24 points, 14 assists. Aaron Gordon with 21. and Ant-Man dropping 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now we're in the second round of the playoffs, and honestly speaking, I did think we would be sent home there against the Trailblazers, but thankfully we played clutch and came back from a 3-1 deficit. Now in the second round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the 6th-seeded Golden State Warriors, who have themselves Stephen Curry, Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Post. They do have Draymond Green and a bunch more players coming off of their bench. And this team, other than Steph and Jimmy, they're all a bunch of 70 overall players, so hopefully we're able to beat them pretty easily. Game number 1 will end up going to us in Ant-Man with 47 points, OG with 24, Ja Morant with 18. Allen has been playing amazing as well here in the playoffs, shooting 72% from the field. Game number 2 also ends up going to us, Ant-Man with 25, Ja with 16 assists and 19 points. Let's go. We win game 3 and we sweep the Golden State Warriors, making it to the conference finals where we're going to be taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers have themselves James Harden, Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Zubac. And this is their bench unit. It does look like they were a play-in team, so they were the number 8 seed, now making it all the way to the conference finals. Game number 1 will end up going to us in Ant-Man with 37, Ja with 18 points and 12 assists. So far, Ja is averaging a 23-point double-double here in the playoffs, and Anthony Edwards is averaging 29 points per game on 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. Now it's time for game number 2, which we do end up losing here. Okay, so they do end up defeating us, holding us to only 99 points. We did have 3 players with 20 points, but that was not enough because the rest of the team didn't really show up. Game 3 will end up going to us, game 4 also goes to us, and we do not gentlemen sweep them, but we do beat them in 6 with Ja Morant winning Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 21, 3, and 12, shooting 44% from the field, and 41% from the 3-point line. Let's go. And then Karl Anthony Towns wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the New York Knicks. And of course, that means we're taking on the New York Knicks here in the NBA Finals, who have themselves Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Jaden McDaniels, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. So it does look like the Jaden McDaniels trade did make them a lot better because they were the number 1 seed, and I believe if they had OG, they wouldn't have been. OG, for some reason in 2K Simulation, isn't really that good, but here in the playoffs, he's starting to play pretty well, shooting 44% from the 3-point line and 46% from the field. Ever since we pushed him to the bench unit, he has been doing pretty well. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to the New York Knicks. They defeat us here by 2 points. Okay. Ja had a double-double, 26 from Ant, but that was not enough. We do end up winning game 2 though. Let's go by 8 points. Ant with 33, Ja with 31. Can we also win game 3? And no, we cannot. So they are pushing us here. They beat us by 2 points. Ja had 41 points, 11 assists, but that was not enough. I've come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that's going to help us win these next few games. We will have home court advantage here, and hopefully we're able to tie up the series. The first half, we are winning so far, but can we keep this lead is a question, and yes, we can. We end up winning 128 to 115. Ja had 26 points and 18 assists. Gordon with 22. Jarrett Allen with 20 points and 16 rebounds. Let's go. Now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. The Knicks have home court advantage for this next game. And so far, they have the lead. So they just took the lead from us, but we do end up winning by 4 points. Let's go. We outscored them there in the 4th quarter by 11 points, winning 138 to 134. Where Ant-Man had a 35-point double-double and Ja with a 31-point double-double. All we gotta do now is win one more game and we win ourselves a championship. We will have home court advantage for this next game. Let's see what happens here. And so far the Knicks do have the lead. It looks like they will be winning this game 126 to 101. Sadly, our defense was pretty off there. Anthony Edwards had 23, 20 from Ja, and 18 from Jarrett Allen. What I am gonna do is change up some of our player shot tendencies before we go to game 7. I've changed up some of our shot tendencies depending on how players are playing here in the NBA Finals, so hopefully that helps us win this next game. The New York Knicks do have home court advantage on their side. So far the Knicks do have the lead. They're up by 3 in the 3rd quarter with 7 minutes remaining. We are pushing back, but now they take the lead from us here in the 4th quarter. And we come back as the question. They are still up, 2:20 remaining, and it looks like they are going to be winning this game. unless somehow we come in clutch. It looks like that will not be the case. We sadly end up losing here in the NBA Finals Game 7 to the New York Knicks 129 to 121. Ja had 37, Ant-Man with 29 and 11, but sadly we do fall short. That truly sucks. I expect some big trades this offseason because clearly we're not championship contenders. The New York Knicks go on to win with Jalen Brunson winning Finals MVP. Let's take a look at the player stats before we go into the offseason, and we played a total of 24 games here in the playoffs. The leading scorer was Anthony Edwards, averaging 28, 25 from Ja Morant, and then the rest of the team was alright offensively, but our defense in the NBA Finals was nowhere to be seen. Here are the NBA Finals stats where we played a total of 7 games. The leading scorer was Ja Morant, averaging 29 and 13. The Indiana Pacers are offering us Pascal Siakam for OG Anunoby. I will pull off this trade and then I'm going to discover if there's any better trades for Pascal Siakam. He does have a higher trade value than OG Anunoby, so we should be able to get something better back in return. This offseason, I'm going to be pulling off a trade with the Los Angeles Clippers where we send them Jarrett Allen in return, getting ourselves Zubac. Jarrett Allen was pretty good for us, but I do believe we need more size at that center position. Zubac is a 7-foot center, brings defense, offense, and rebounding. So let's go ahead and pull off this trade. I have a perfect trade in mind here that would land us Scotty Barnes to be our brand new starting power forward. I'm offering the Toronto Raptors Aaron Gordon and Clint Capella. As of right now, they do decline, but let's start throwing in some picks. 1 first-round pick does not get it done, but 2 first-round picks lands us Scotty Barnes to pair up with Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards. I want to see if we can bring in a new head coach, and it does look like Nick Nurse is currently a free agent, but I really do hope we have the money for him. I don't want to fire Chris Finch and then we don't even have the money to sign Nick Nurse. That would suck, but let's see if we do. And it looks like we should have the money. Hopefully we're offering him $10.4 million, but it looks like there are other teams offering him money as well. Let's see if we can up that a little bit after firing that dude. $10.7 million. Will he accept? I'm also still going to offer Chris Finch just in case we do not get ourselves Nick Nurse. Let's see which one of the two will be accepting, and it looks like we can get ourselves Nick Nurse to be our brand new head coach. And for team player options, I am going to pick up the team option on Keyshawn George, but we're going to let Lonzo Ball and Hunter Tyson walk. We don't need to pick up their money for no reason. They haven't been a part of our rotation. Qualifying offers, we don't have anyone here. Do we need to re-sign anyone? Let's see. And it looks like we don't have to re-sign anyone here in free agency, but I still will be signing some players. A problem we faced in the playoffs was our 3-point shooting. So what I'm planning on doing is bringing in shooters. Colin Gillespie is a pretty good shooter, so either him or Quentin Grimes. I do believe Quentin Grimes could be the better player, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 3-year contract, $5 million annually, and let's see if he accepts. I will also offer Colin Gillespie a contract as well. Both of them are down to accept. Hopefully we have the money, and it looks like we don't, so we're going to go ahead and sign Quentin Grimes on a 3-year $16 million contract. We've also signed Mitchell Robinson to be the backup center on a 2-year $4.8 million contract, and both players accept. Finding a trade for a small forward for Pascal Siakam has been pretty difficult, but as I said, we do need 3-point shooting on our team, especially since Ja Morant is not really a floor spacer, and this past playoffs we were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams, and I believe Michael Porter Jr. can definitely help us out with our 3-point shooting. This past season he was averaging 21 points per game, 7 rebounds, shooting 41% from the 3-point line. I'm offering the Brooklyn Nets Pascal Siakam, and they do give us a counteroffer. They want Clayton Dawkins for Nolan Traore. I don't mind that. Let's go ahead and pull off the trade. Here we are at the start of this season with our new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Michael Porter Jr., Scotty Barnes, and Avia Zubac. And then off the bench, we have Keyshawn George, Quentin Grimes, Mitchell Robinson, and Royce O'Neal. We now have ourselves a perfect mix between offense and defense. We did bring in an elite 3-point shooter, Michael Porter Jr., that could definitely help with our 3-point shooting. Let's simulate the first few games of this season to see how we do. The first game is up against the Denver Nuggets. We do end up defeating 156 to 134. Ant-Man had 41 points, Ja with 29, Scotty in his Timberwolves debut dropping 19. 17 from MPJ, 16 from Grimes, and 14 from Zubac. The next game is up against Scotty Barnes' former team, the Toronto Raptors. Let's see if we can defeat them, and yes we do, scoring 148 points where Ant had 55, 29 from MPJ, and a 19-point double-double from Ja Morant. 76ers are next, and we also defeat them, holding them to 91 points where we scored 134. Ja dropped 30, Scotty had 24, and Ant-Man with 20. And to start off the season, we will be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Nick Nurse. Now I'm going to start simulating here until the trade deadline, where if there's any trades to be made, of course, I'll make sure to stop and show y'all. I'm stopped here at the trade deadline, and I was contemplating if we should pull off any more trades, but we've been doing so well. We currently are the number 1 seed with 40 wins and 8 losses, so I do believe this team has a chance at winning a championship in the playoffs, so I'm going to go ahead and run with this core and see how things go. I'll simulate until the end of this season and see you guys in the playoffs. MPJ does want to sign a contract extension with our team, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 4 seasons, paying him $25 million annually, which he happily accepts. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, Russell Westbrook 6th Man of the Year with the Hornets, and Wemby also wins DPOY, Ivy Most Improved, Paulo Banchero Clutch Player, Nick Nurse, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year, and we also end up winning Executive. And let's see where we get Anthony Edwards. We do end up getting Ja Morant on all NBA second team, and we do get Anthony Edwards as well, but he makes it on all NBA third team. Do we have any all defensive teams? No, we do not, but we did end this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 68 games and losing only 14 as the number 1 seed. Now, before we start simulating the playoffs, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. The leading scorer on our team was Anthony Edwards, averaging 28 points per game on 50, 44, 83 shooting splits. And then we had Ja Morant averaging 25 points per game, 10 assists, shooting 55% from the field. And he actually shot really well from the 3-point line, a career high 39% from the 3-point line. 18.5 from Scotty, 15 from Michael Porter Jr., 14 from Keyshawn, 12 from Zubac, and 11 from Quentin Grimes. In the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. They still have themselves Jamal Murray, Christian Brown. It looks like they added Moses Moody and Naz Reid, and of course Nikola Jokic at that center position. This is their bench unit. They were the number 8 seed. Game 1 will end up going to us. Ja drops a 33-point double-double and 27 from Ant-Man. Keyshawn George has been doing really well for us as our 6th man. In 22 minutes per game this season, he was averaging 14 points per game, shooting 40% from the 3-point line. But thankfully, we are now up 1-0. Can we win game 2? And yes, we can. We scored 160 points, holding the Denver Nuggets to 108. Ja had 57 points. Holy, let's go. Ant-Man dropping 25. Can we also win game 3? And yes, we can. Ant with 33, Ja with a 24-point double-double, and we do end up sweeping the Denver Nuggets to make it to the second round of the playoffs. And so far, Ja is averaging a 32-point double-double, Ant-Man is averaging 28 points per game, shooting 63% from the field. And now in the second round of the playoffs, it looks like we're going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. They have themselves Kyrie Irving, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively II. They did get themselves Jakob Poeltl coming off of their bench. Game number 1 does go to us. Ant-Man with 35, Ja with a 22-point double-double. We also end up winning game 2, Ja with 33, Ant with 25. We also win game 3, 131 to 117. Ja with 26, 6, and 12, and had himself 18 points. We're now up 3-0. All we got to do is win one more game, which we do end up losing game 4, but we do end up gentlemen sweeping the Dallas Mavericks. Ja had himself 43 points, Ant with a 16-point double-double. I'm not sure why Ant isn't shooting the ball all that much. I would like for him to be shooting the most amount of shots on this team, but for some reason, Ja is taking more shots than him. And now we're in the conference finals. We're either going to be taking on the OKC Thunder or the LA Lakers, and it will be the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and this dude right here. It looks like he may be a rookie, and he's not a rookie, but he is a sophomore. Game number 1 does end up going to us, Jaw with 29, Ant with 24. And as you guys can see, for some reason, Jaw has been taking a lot more shots than Anthony Edwards, even though Anthony Edwards' shot tendency is all the way up to a 99. Game number 2 also goes to us, Jaw with 26, Ant with 22. We are now up 2-0. Can we make that 3-0? And no, we cannot. We do end up losing this game 133 to 130. Ant did have 37 points, Scotty with 20. Jaw had a double-double, but that was not enough. We do end up winning game 4 though. Let's go. Scotty drops 36 points, 27 from Keyshawn George, 26 from Morant, and Ant had himself 18 points. For some reason, only playing 29 minutes. It's time for game 5. All we gotta do is win one more game, which we do end up gentlemen sweeping the Oklahoma City Thunder, making it to the NBA Finals, where we're going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons. Ja Morant wins Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 27, 4, and 10. And Cade Cunningham wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the Detroit Pistons. Now in the NBA Finals, we're going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons. They have themselves Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jarris Walker, and Isaiah Stewart, as well as DeAndre Ayton coming off their bench. Second time making it to the NBA Finals in a row. Hopefully this time around we're able to win. Game 1 does go to us. Ant drops 25, Ja Morant with a 24-point double-double. Game number 2 will also go to us, and this time Ant drops 40 points, Ja with a 23-point double-double, and MPJ dropping 26 points. Game 3 we do end up losing sadly. MPJ had 22, but we do fall short here, losing by 14 points. Now we're up 2-1. Let's see what happens here in Simcast. The Detroit Pistons will have home court advantage on their side. And so far we do have the lead by quite a bit, and we end up winning 118 to 82. Our defense was on point. Ja had 23 and 13, and with 19. All we gotta do now is win one more game. Let's jump into Simcast, where we will have home court advantage, and so far the Pistons do have the lead by quite a bit. They've blown us out in the first quarter, 46 to 28, and they do end up winning this game by 20 points. Ant played amazing, dropping 42 points, but our defense was not there. The series is now at 3-2. Can we win this in game 6? The Pistons do have home court advantage on their side, and we do have the lead by quite a bit, and it looks like we do end up winning 153 to 115. Our offense was elite. We dropped 90 points there in the second half. Ant-Man had 41 points. Let's go. Scotty Barnes with 26 and Ja with a 21-point double-double, and just like that, we've won. Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves a championship, with Ant-Man winning Finals MVP, averaging 30 points per game, shooting 52% from the field. And before I end out this video, let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the playoffs, where we played a total of 20 games. The leading scorer was none other than Anthony Edwards, averaging 28 points per game on shooting splits of 54% from the field and 40% from the three-point line. Then we had Ja Morant averaging 25 points per game and 11 assists, so this was a really good duo. I'm really glad that we brought Ja Morant in here to be our starting point guard. The duo of Ja and Ant has been unstoppable. 19 from Scotty, 17 from MPJ, and the rest of the team. In the NBA Finals, where we played a total of 6 games, the leading scorer once again was Ant-Man, averaging 30 points per game. And we did have a bunch more players here in double-digit scoring as well. Now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. That really does support out my channel a ton, so please hit that subscribe button. And also click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.